Hey there, I'm your host Zoe, and this is part 4 of our Wave Spawn series. In today's video, we'll be doing the UI, and with that said, let's begin. We'll start by going into our content drawer, and over here we want to create a new folder for our UI. Now inside, let's go ahead and create a user widget, call it wb_wave HUD. Right, so inside here, we want to first of all add a canvas panel, like so. Next, let's go ahead and grab a border, drag that into your canvas panel, and we can leave it on the top right. Now for position X and Y, X will do 100 offset, and for Y will do 30. Now for size X and Y, I'll do 150 by 40. And with that, we can also go ahead and change the shape of it. So in your brush, so if you don't have the open it up, and we have draw as. We can draw it as a rounded box, and this is what we get. Next, let's go to brush color and change this all the way to black and give it an opacity of 0.3. Looks nice. Okay, so with that done, let's go ahead and grab a text, drag that in, and I'll size it up to 16. I think it's gonna look nice. And center align for both and make padding 0. So now let's go ahead and rename this to txt_enemies killed. Now here we want to know how big this would be. So let's say we've killed 12 out of the 20 enemies. This is what we get. So that's pretty good. And later we'll have an image in the top left corner. So we'll have it for the enemies killed, the gold collected, and so on. So let's copy paste this border into our canvas panel once again. And position X will do 400. And position Y will do 30 again. Now for size, yeah, that's fine. So now for the text, let's change it to txt_gold collected. And make this variable, by the way. We want both of these to be variable. And for the text, let's just give it a random value. For example, that's how much gold we've collected, and that's fine. Once again, we'll copy this into our canvas panel. This time we want to center align this, so hold Ctrl and Shift and click center align on top, and it will do this. And with that, position Y will be 30, we'll leave X at 0, and for size, I'll do 250 because in here, click on the text, we want to rename it to txt_time left. And let's put in a default value so we get an idea of how it looks like, and let's say 0014. We want a double colon. There we go. So that's nice. And two things left. We want the waves over here, and perhaps we want the transition, or whenever the next wave is progressing, we want to display it as well. So for the waves, we'll go ahead and copy one of these borders into the canvas panel. Once again, Control Shift, top align, position Y. We'll do 80 this time. And for this, let's change it to wave tree. Did I say anything here? It's fine. So wave tree, and we'll do txt_wave number. So that's nice. And one thing left is to add our progress bar. So in order to do that, we'll grab a size box, drag it into your canvas panel, and with this size box, we can align it on the top right corner. So Control Shift, press that. Position Y, we'll do -100 and 30 on the Y. And for size, let's do 240 here. With that, we'll get a overlay because we can't just have a progress bar in there. We need some text. So we'll do that overlay, fill it all the way, adding 0, and let's grab a progress bar, drag it in, and we'll fill this. For the actual progress bar itself, we can go into where would this be? In style, we have the background image and the fill image. So in here, you can see the box, draw as box. We want it to be rounded box and rounded box as well. And while we are at it, let's change the color to maybe, I want to see %. Let's just give it a default value, just so I see what it looks like. And like a nice caramelish brown color will do for me. Yeah, something like that. Play around with it and we'll save it. So for the background tint, we can close the fill image. We have it here. Select that and make it a little bit darker, like so. So we're almost there. Now we need to grab our text. So I can just copy one of these texts and paste it into here. There we go. So wave 3 will change to wave 4 because we're progressing onto wave 4 and everything else is nice. Let's rename it to txt_next wave. And with that done, we have our basic HUD layout. So let's go ahead, save all of this and see how it looks like on the screen to see if we need to adjust that anymore. So go to your wave game mode. Over here, we'll create a new variable or new function. Let's call it our create wave HUD. With that, drag this in, or never mind, let's do create widget. And we want to get our HUD. And then add to viewport. There we go. And let's grab this create wave HUD and put it in front of the interlude. Like so. Compile and save, and I will get a basic idea of how this looks like. It won't have any function just yet, but this is what we're dealing with, and it looks nice in my eyes. So let's go ahead and create some functionality. So inside of our wave HUD, let's go into the event graph. We want to get rid of our event tick, and let's get rid of preconstruct. So on event construct, we want to bind to all of the events or dispatchers we created earlier. So let's get our wave game mode. And this is coming from the function library that we created earlier. And let's do bind event on wave start. Bind event, oh, spelled that wrong. On wave start, on start wave. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing with our enemy killed. So bind event on enemy killed. Like that. And once again, let's go ahead and do bind event on wave end. And for now, that's enough. Let's go ahead and deal with these. So here we'll do create an event. And we will create a matching event. So create matching event on wave started, or on wave start, whatever you like. Next, let's do the same thing. So I can just maybe steal that and steal it once again. And let's do matching event on enemy killed. And once again on matching event on wave ended or end. There we go. And let's go ahead and deal with these. So I'll give myself some room. Okay, so over here, let's get our wave number and let's promote it to a variable. And let's call it wave number. There we go. We'll be using this to increment it. So our progress, our wave here knows the next wave. With that, let's get our text, not next wave, but our wave number. And we'll do set text. And we want to format it. And we actually want to do this for a few of our things. So we'll do it firstly here, format. And we'll do wave space, curly brackets, number, close curly brackets. And the number is going to be here, like that. Next, let's go ahead and grab our enemies killed text. So there we go. we can steal both of these, plug that in there, like so. All right. So with our enemies killed, instead of this, we'll have, get rid of that, we'll have kills, curly brackets, kills, close curly brackets, do a dash, curly brackets again, and we'll do total, and close the curly brackets. So kills is going to come from here, and total is going to come from here. And let's reroute this so we see it a little bit cleaner. Something like that will do me for now. And with that, next we want to update our gold collected. So get it, steal those again, plug that in. And for gold collected, we want to have our curly brackets, gold collected text, and close curly brackets. And the gold collected is coming from here. And once again, do a reroute. Make it look a lot nicer. Okay, so next we would deal with the time. So we, first of all, over here, let's get our wave game mode. And we will get our countdown timer. There we go. Countdown timer. And we want to set our time left. So get it. And we'll steal this. Like that. Plug it in. And connect it here. So inside of here, we want to say time space left double colon. We'll do curly brackets, type in your minutes, close curly brackets, double colon, open curly brackets, type in your seconds, and close the curly brackets. So over here, we want to drag this out a little bit and do a toText integer. And with this, we want to set the minimum integral digits to be 2. Otherwise, you'll just have the 1. So we can copy paste that. Now both of these should be fine, and plug them in minutes and seconds. That's looking nice. And next we want to get our wave game mode again. And this time we're going to bind to our timer. So bind on timer updated. There we go. Plug that in. And over here, we'll do another create event. And we'll call this event, create a matching event on timer updated. And over here, we want to steal our toText integers and this, copy, and we're going to paste it in here. So connect that there. And for this, I'll connect the minutes into minutes and this into here. And we'll leave everything as is. So that's our on timer updated. Drag it maybe down, give myself some room for the other functions. Okay, so next, on enemy killed, we want to get our enemy killed texts, plug it in. And for the kills, we have our enemy killed, total enemies, like that. And then the gold collected, we grab from here as well. So it's a lot of copy paste because we already did most of the work on the construct. Drag this around. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And there we go. Something like this. And one more left to do, which is going to be our wave end. So over here, I want to do a set visibility. And the visibility is going to be on our interlude box. So it's going to be our size box. Let's rename this to interlude, make it variable. And let's plug it in. So by default, it's going to be visible. Then we're going to get our wave number and we want to increment it. So plus plus. That's going to get our text. So we want to do wave, not wave number, next wave. What am I doing? Next wave. And we want to steal the formats like that. And for the text, we'll do wave space, open curly brackets, number, close curly brackets, and the numbers coming from here. Next, we'll do, we want to create a custom event that we'll call close gate. Close gate. And we want to call this event on our wave started. So at the very end, we'll get our event graph close gate. There we go. So whatever this calls, it's going to do here. So over here, I want to grab a event tick. Now this event tick is going to go into a gate and it's going to enter it. Now what opens the gate is the function wave ended. That's going to open this. And their close gate is going to close it. So I'll give myself some room. We're going to have to do something here. Now the visibility will set to close or collapsed on the close gate. And there we go. Looks a little nicer. Okay. Like so. All right. Now from here, we want to get our progress bar. Did I rename it? I did not. So let's rename it to our progress bar interlude. And we are going to get it and do set per set. Now the percent we are going to set it to will come from that interlude timer that we had on our wave mode. So we need to steal this again. Where is it? There we are. Paste it in and we'll do interlude timer, get interlude timer. From here, we want to get the remaining and the elapsed time. So do remaining, get remaining time by handle and get elapsed. There we are. Now these values we're going to add, and this is going to be our maximum range. And the node we want to look for is called normalize to range. Like so, and this goes into our maximum value. And this result here will go into our percent. And bring this a little bit back. And with that done, our wave should be working. So let's give it a quick text. And before we do, let's also add the gold and the skull. So go ahead and search for image like that, drag it in. And let's size it up to something like 60, or let's position 60 by 60. For the brush, we'll search for our skull icon. Oh, that's skill. There we are. And size it up, play around with it to how big you want it. Maybe that's a little bit small. Let's do 70. Something like that. And I'll be happy with this. And next, let's do the same for our gold. So we could even rename it image underscore gold. We're not editing these, but in case you ever wanted to, image skull. And this one we can make a little bit smaller, 60 by 60, and get our gold icon. Before I forget, let's go back into our event graph. And on event construct, we did the bind on start, on the enemy killed, and on the wave end. From here, we want to do a little bit more. So let's grab our text wave number. I'm going to steal those guys, or let's steal this and plug that into here. We're setting the values at the start, so they have a number. So for example, our wave here would have a number of 1. So let's get the wave mode. and get wave number. By default, this will be 0. So when you're starting your waves, this will say 0. Next, let's do the enemies killed and the gold. So we have that here. Very handy. Plug it in. And on here, the enemies killed, we once again maybe perhaps want some more room like that. And we want the wave game mode because the wave game mode knows about the killed and the total. So enemies killed and total enemies. And these values are going to go in here like that. And as well, we want the gold. So grab this guy and do gold collected. Plug it in there. And we're almost finished. Now let's do our time left. Get that. And I believe we have it at the bottom here. So might as well use it. Copy, paste. And I need the text as well. Set text. And this goes here. Now for the time left, we will do a toText integer like so. So I believe that's fine. Let's compile, save, and give this a quick test. So over here, if we hit play, we should see the countdown going down and we have our first wave, but something doesn't look right. So let's go ahead and see what it is. All right, so I found the issue. If we go to our wave game mode and to the wave clock function, over here I made a mistake by getting the stored seconds and setting it as the stored seconds. This should actually just be seconds. So get your seconds, set it, plug it in there. Now this will fix our issue. Let's compile and save that and let's begin. So our wave 0 and we're starting wave 1. So all of these get set, perfect. Now let's go ahead and kill a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 6. All right, so I've killed 6. I'm gonna let the timer run out and see if they despawn. And boom, perfect. So they've despawned. Now let's go ahead, wait for wave 2. We should have 5 scouts, so that's 1, 2. And 3, 4, 5. You're gone, and you're gone. So that's 15 killed, and we are beginning wave 3. And we shouldn't have anything happening here because we don't have an algorithm. So let's go ahead and build that. So let's go ahead and open up our content drawer, go into our wave game mode, and go into our algorithmic wave. Now inside here, we can design this however you wish. I'll show you the base setup and then you can experiment on your own. From the enemy pool, we're going to add. And whatever class you put in here will be the class that's spawning in. So let's say we want some warriors. We're going to want some scouts and we're going to want some golems. There we are. Now in here, we will get our wave number and we can do a multiply node and we can multiply this whatever you like, set it up how you wish. But what I'm going to do, I'll multiply it by the wave number and I'm going to add to it, perhaps I want to add to it 2. And in this value, I'll have a clamp on it. So let's do clamp. And the minimum value I want always to be 10. So no matter what, the value is always going to be 10. And as the waves progress, this value will get higher and higher. I'll do something similar for the enemy scout. That is the scout. That is the scout. And maybe the minimum I want it to be 5. So still a similar thing. Let's do maybe multiply by 1. So 5 by 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. But the minimum is 5 and it's gonna be, so let's say we have wave number 1. By 1, that's 1, plus 2 is 3. But anyways, I want the minimum to be 5. So you get the idea. Now for the golem, what I'll do is I'll get the wave number, multiply it by 1. So if it's wave 3, there are going to be 3 golems, wave 4, 4 golems, and so on. Now at the very end, we still want to get our get pool size. And we want to do set enemies remaining. And we want to do set the total enemies. So we always know what the total is, and the remaining will be decremented as we kill them. So that's our algorithmic wave done, and you can play with it, make whatever you wish. Compile and save, and I believe we had it added there, so build wave or build enemy pool, there we are. So if I go ahead and play it, we should get the wave 1. So I'll run through this very quick and get to wave 3. All right, so we're almost at wave 3. I gotta go kill that last guy. Boom. All right, wave 3. Now we should get 3 golems at some point in time. So we're getting 18 enemies. Kill that guy, kill her, and kill everyone. Here we go, our first golem. Now the hitbox is a bit off. That doesn't really matter. Second golem. And third golem. All right, that's awesome. So we got that working. And one more thing we can do is set up the enemy limit so we can increment it as the waves progress. So let's go ahead and do that. So back in our game mode, let's go ahead and create a new function, get enemy limit. Inside of here, we want to get our wave number, and we also want to get our enemy limit. And now this is also an algorithm you can design for yourselves. But what I'm going to do is I'll add 1 to whatever the enemy limit is. And I'm going to get the wave number and divide it by 2. And you'll see why. So for here, we'll do a clamp. So the minimum value is always going to be 5. I want it to always be 5, no matter what. And the maximum value will be this. So they won't actually start increasing till you get to like wave 12, which is divided by 2 and you get 6. And then 13 divided by 2, you'll still get that 6. And then 14 divided by 2, you'll get 7. And they'll progress. So you get the idea. And we'll get the enemy limit. We'll do a set. Plug that in there. And now we want to call this on the wave start. So let's go to our start wave and let's get the enemy limit. Oh, not the actual variable. There we are. And let's plug it in at the very beginning. And now if we go ahead and play, you should get an incrementation starting from wave 12 and so on. All right, so this is pretty much it for this series. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And as always, happy developing.